To know. To know. So I want to start with a story. Many of you know, or probably do not know, that my brother Kevin, he's 37 years old, a double amputee. Life happens, right? And for the rest of his life, he's going to be in a nursing home, right? So the city is taking care of him. And I'm saying this to say that he's 37. Life happens, right? It could have happened to any one of us. An accident could happen at any given notice. And if you have money, it's a problem because then you don't get help. And then when you don't have money, the state take care of you. But there's a lot of but. There's a lot of red tapes and loopholes and all kind of stuff you got to be fighting with the state to get the best care. And it's not easy. When I speak to a lot of clients who have money, case in point tonight, 7 o'clock, Ken and I was talking to one of his clients that we're going to go see on Monday. They have a lot of money. And you know why we're going to see her? One reason: long-term care. Because they have a lot of money, they're not eligible to get any financial assistance from the government. Because they have a lot of money, they have to pay out of pocket for everything. Her mom needs 24/7 care. Somebody has to be with the mom at all time. So even for someone who have money, why are they still meeting with me? Why? Can anybody tell me why? They have money, right? Why are they still meeting with me? Put it in the chat. I can help them. Yep, that's true. But what else? Why are they meeting with me? Why would they still meet with someone even though they have a lot of money? Tax-free IUL? Yeah, that's one. What else? I always say it, right? More money is never a problem. Even though they have a lot of money, they're literally watching it disappear right before their eyes every single day. Now, it's their mom. They're going to do the best they can, but they know that the longer mommy lives, that money is burning. It's going faster than it's coming, right? It's going faster than it's coming. So if the rich are feeling it, what's going to happen to the poor? What's going to happen to the people who don't have income to pay for any, unfortunate life event, right? Most people think Social Security is going to take care of it, or health insurance is going to take care of it. They have no idea. They're in for a rude awakening. It is not. So this is why tonight's topic, I say it all the time, I will never be broken out a day in my life. I will never be broken out a day in my life. I will never be broken out a day in my life. Because of the information that we have here, if you take it, you apply it to your own personal life, and you put these strategies in place, you too will never be broken out a day in your life. So I go back to this lady. I'm going to see her because, number one, the only thing she said she needs, Odetta, I need long-term care. I see what we're going through with my mom, and I don't have any kids. I don't have any husband. And I stopped her right there. And then I said, even if you had kids, even if you had a husband, you still got to make sure you're good. Don't put it on them. You don't know if your kids are going to be living in New York. You don't know if your husband is going to die before you. You don't know if there's going to be enough income to take care of you. So this is a topic that I'm telling you guys, a lot of people are in for a rude awakening because nobody is sharing this information with us. Nobody. So it's crazy. It's very emotional when you hear these stories and you wish you had knew this information earlier and people could have told you about it. So tonight we're going to talk about income protection. So one of the things that I also told the lady is you can never have too much. Never have too much. Her parents did an amazing job with whatever they knew and they put things in place, but now the kids have to take up the mantle. So we're going to talk about chronic and critical illnesses, because if you Google it, every 7 to 10 seconds, someone is being diagnosed with a chronic or a critical illness. Heart attack, cancer, stroke, every 7 to 10 seconds. Google that. 7 to 10 seconds, right? So what is term with living benefits? Chronic and critical. Most people, if you live in New York, and I'm going to speak for New York because I'm familiar with all the companies' products in New York, they only provide a basic term, which is you live, as long as you're paying your term while you're alive, you're good. But there's a period where the term will expire or end. And if you do not die before it ends, who wins? If we don't die before the term expire, who wins? Who wins? The insurance company, right? So when you're taking out a term, you better count on yourself to die before the term ends. Otherwise, hey, you're still alive, but all that 30 years income that you contributed, gone. You don't get it back, right? So our term with Transamerica has living benefits. Living benefits. So if we get sick within that 30 years, which there's a higher probability that we will, now we have some money that's going to be paid out to us if we get sick within that 30 years. Chronic or critical? We're going to get a check, y'all. We're going to get a check. And this check has nothing to do with if you're already getting a check from the government, right? There's going to be a cash payout. God forbid if we get sick with a chronic or critical illness. That's a big deal. And I'm going to put this into perspective, right? So here we have Transamerica. Gotta love Transamerica. We work with the best, right? We absolutely work with the best. So when somebody gets sick, child care still got to be paid for. If you have kids going to college, education still has to be paid for. If you have any loans, hey, if you don't pay it, they're going to come for whatever you got. If you own a car, right, or transportation, maybe you could get away with clothing because you probably don't need to buy anything, but housing, everybody needs housing, right? You got to pay your mortgage or your rent. And of course, we got to eat, right? So what are those unexpected costs? Plus, if we get sick, we cannot work. So there's going to be loss of income as well. On top of it, don't get me started with the medical bills. The medical bills is crazy, right? And then any hospital bills and medical treatment, you want to have the best care when you're ill. You don't want to have to be subjected to go into whichever insurance company and you got to stay within a network because it's the cheapest plan that your job or your health insurance give you, right? I don't know about you guys, but I want the best care, right? And I also want to try alternative care. But your health insurance is not going to pay for alternative care. If you want to fly, I don't know, go to some remote country and try some alternative treatment, your health insurance is not going to pay for those things, guys. They're not. You got to have your own coins for that, right? So I would never forget, this particular topic is very dear to me. One of our very own Guyanese agent, Miranda, which some of you probably know, she was doing this business and she was diagnosed with cancer. In less than 6 months, it took her down. She didn't even have a chance to fight. Right? So if you have certain things in place, guys, do not take this business lightly. We're sharing this with people. Get these things for yourself first. So let's give you an example of how this works in real life. Here we have a chronic illness situation. Sarah. At 35, Sarah had been saving for years and was thrilled to buy her very first home. During that time, her friend told her to get a trendsetter term LB. She realized for under $29 a month, she could purchase a 30-year term life with an initial face amount of $300,000. She knew she could access the living benefits to help pay her mortgage, medical bill, groceries, or anything that comes up within the 30 years. That's peace of mind when you get these strategies. Knowing that for the next 30 years, if something were to happen, God forbid, you have peace of mind that things will still be paid for, right? So 7 years later, just 7, Sarah was involved in a car accident, resulting in a serious back injury that made it difficult for her to do her everyday tasks. So even though she struggled to recover, only 3 years later, she was diagnosed with a chronic illness. So let's see how this term LB played out. Since Sarah had a trendsetter LB policy, she was able to accelerate the death benefit. After paying just $34.36 in premiums, she was able to get a cash payout of $17,776. She used the cash to help pay her mortgage and medical expense. Sarah can't imagine what would have happened if she didn't have that policy, right? So this is an accident, y'all. This is an accident. From the time she got the policy at 35, 3 years later, she got into this accident. She had only paid into premium $3,436. And she was able to access $17,776 each year. So if she had to stay in that situation for another 5 to 7 years, she could access $17,776 each year. Guys, that's peace of mind, right? You don't want to have to think about money when you're sick. You want to think about getting the best care and getting healthy. Now let's look at this other case, critical illness and heart attack. Now we have Eva. Eva was a small business owner. At the age of 40, she finally made it happen and got a loan of $250,000. That spurred a decision to purchase a trendsetter term LB for 25 years. She was paying under $45 per month. Now, 8 years later, guys, these are not even long because we just never know, right? Just 8 years later, Eva suffered a serious heart attack. Heart attack, cancer, and stroke. Somebody type in the comment, in the chat, How often is it happening in America? Heart attack, cancer, stroke. How often is it happening in America? How often are people being diagnosed with a heart attack, cancer, stroke in America? 7 to 10 seconds. That's right. We have a lot of doctors in WFG, and they are blazing the trail with these medical stats. So just 8 years later, Eva suffered a serious heart attack, and that critical illness diagnosed her as having a major impact on her life expectancy. So if she was expected to live up until age 100, now because of this major heart attack, it has impacted her life expectancy. Boy, she was happy she had the ability to access funds, accelerating her death benefit in order to pay for her medical bills. So at age 40, she took out $250,000 term LB, living benefit, 4451. 8 years later, she had a massive heart attack, and she was able to cash out $134,000. She only paid in $4,200. It's a no-brainer. So if you're gonna get a term, you want to get an LB term, living benefit. There's a higher chance we're all gonna need, unfortunately, the living benefit, right? Than dying within 30 years, right? Now let's look at the last example, organ transplant. Meet Michael. He's the father of 2 young children, a successful executive. Michael wanted to make sure his children would be secure. God forbid something were to happen to him. So think of all the people that you know have little kids, minors. If something happened to them, who's taking care of those minor kids? So Michael, even though he's a successful executive, he knew, hey, as much as I'm making money, let me do something extra just in case if something happened to me. So he took out a Trendsetter LB, living benefits, for 15 years for the amount of $1 million. So Michael was paying $174 per month. Just 5 years later, he suffered a devastating fall while working on his house. So you don't even have to leave your house. Things could happen right in your house, right? Ken went to visit a client. He's doing some blind installation, and the wife was telling him that the husband, they're retired. They are retired. The husband was coming down the staircase and he fell and now is paralyzed in his own house. Just went on retirement. He's retired. He worked all his life. Everything was good. Now he's in retirement mode in his house, going down the stairs. He fell and now he's paralyzed. So Michael had a devastating fall while working on his house, and he needed a major organ, an organ transplant. Is an organ transplant cheap? Does anybody know how much does it cost for an organ transplant? Right? Google that. So that accidental injury had a severe impact on his life expectancy, of course. So Michael chose to accelerate a portion of his death benefit right away, which helped pay for things like his ambulance transportation, the organ transplant. Somebody Google it, right? Hospital stay, because you're not going to get an organ transplant and be out of there in 2-3 weeks, right? He was thankful that he still had a portion of the death benefit left for his kids should he pass away too soon. So again, 50 years old, took out $1 million life insurance, term LB, living benefits, $173 per month. 5 years later, he got into an accident, which was severe. He was able to cash out $615,000 after only paying premium of $10,000, because he got the policy when he was 50. He had the accident at 55. So within that 5-year span, yes, he paid in $10,000 in premium. But how much was he able to cash out when he had that health crisis? This is serious stuff, guys. I will never be broke another day in my life because of strategies like these. God forbid, if anything happened, money is not going to be an option. So when we tell you about these things, it's not to just make stories. These are real life situations that's happening every day, right? So you want to make sure that when you're sitting with a family, you're educating them on the benefits of having living benefits, because we're going to get sick, y'all. At some point, we're going to get sick. So the saying is, control what you can, ensure what you cannot. And I'm going to repeat that again. Control what you can, ensure what you cannot. Do we know when we're going to get sick? Do we know when we're going to have an accident? Do we know when we're going to die? No, we do not. That's why we have to ensure those things. So Transamerica, right, our parent company who has been around for 100 years, 206 billion with a B, right, in total assets, the #1 term life insurance company by Forbes Advisor. Again, we cannot rate ourselves. The industry has to rate us. And if the industry is rating us, that means we're darn well doing something good. We are the #1 term life insurance by Forbes magazine. Big deal, right? Big deal. And we're also the #1 selling IUL in 2021 by Insurance News Net. So AM Best, A1 Moody's, S&P Global, Forbes Advisor. So now that we've talked about the living benefits, let's talk about our next flagship strategy, Everest. Does anybody know what is Everest? Type in the chat, what is Everest? Wow, somebody put in the chat, the average for a kidney transplant is 442,000, 500,000. Wow. 1 month in ICU. Wow. It's crazy. And that was 2007 prices. What about 2022 prices? Federal concierge, right? So Everest is a federal concierge, but it's more than just a federal concierge. Everest has so much, right? Did you guys know what is the average cost of a funeral? Today price, today, right? I'm not talking about 20, 30, 40 years. Today price averages about 10,000 to 20,000. Cremation, you could probably get away with 5,000 to 6,000, 8,000 with cremation. You could get away with that for cremation if that's your choice, right? But an average funeral cost today is 10 to 20,000. And did you know that 50% of people today can't even cover $1,000 emergency? So if we can't even muscle up $1,000 emergency, how are we gonna find 10,000 in a couple of days? How are we gonna find 10,000 in a couple of days when statistics show that 56% of us can't even come up with $1,000 emergency? They got to put it on a credit card. They got to borrow money. How are we going to come up with 10,000 in a couple of days? Efforts to the rescue. Somebody said $5,000 and you need a shoebox. Okay, right? Did you know that it can take financial institution 30 to 180 days to pay out? So for all the folks that's going to tell you, I got life insurance, I'm good. No, you're not. You are not. Because that life insurance or that institution is going to take on average 30 to 180 days to pay out the money. So what we're going to do, we're going to let your body there sit for 30 days. We're just going to let you like sit there for 30 days or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. No, we can't do that. Right? I mean, it's happening, but this is why we do what we do, to educate our community. We cannot have somebody, like just laying there waiting for money to bury them. Like, that's crazy. And who does your family call? Who does your family call 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 2 a.m. when something happens? Are they calling a licensed professional funeral director or funeral planner? Or are they calling their auntie, cousin, sister, brother, Joe, whoever? Are they financial professionals? Are they licensed? Who are they? Who are we calling for help? When everybody's going to need help themselves, right? Do you want your loved ones to have to worry about your plans and your wishes? I don't know about anybody else, but everything is mapped out for me. Everything is mapped out for me, right? I'm going to have a nice gold casket. I want my cell phone with me. I'm burning, okay? Everything is mapped out. They ain't going to have to think about nothing. So what is Everest? It's peace of mind. It's protection, right? No medical exam up to age 85. And I have some clients that calls me when they're 86 and I'm like, damn, why didn't you call me earlier? I can't help you. You're over the age. 85 is the cutoff for most insurance companies. You could have Everest cover someone under age 85 for $5,000 to $50,000. No medical exam, none. It's a quick payout. 48 hours, your beneficiary will get the money. This is the only company in the entire world that has a 48-hour payout. So when people are going to tell you, oh, I got Colonial Penn, I got Wachovia, I got this, I got that, I got AAA. Listen, ask them, how long is the money going to take to pay out? They don't even know that. It's not going to take 48 hours. It's going to take more than 48 hours. So what are we going to do? We're going to just have the dead sitting there waiting? On top of it, you have concierge. You can call a licensed funeral director 24/7 anywhere in the world. The world. You in Guyana, you in Jamaica, you in Dubai, something happened, 24/7 anywhere in the world. See, if I go to Dubai and I die in Dubai, my mom doesn't have to get on a plane and go to Dubai. She calls Everest and they're going to negotiate the funeral pricings, fly my body back to New York. Peace of mind, y'all. Understand what we're doing for families. It's more than just $40, $50, $100. It's a package. And we're not done yet. Peace of mind. You get to create your customized legal documents, a will. Everybody needs a will. If you got a bank account, you need a will. Because if you pass away today and you do not have a will, your mother, your sister, your husband, your wife, nobody can get your stuff. You got to have a will. Make it easy for people. Don't stress people out. Another thing that the lady said to me that we're going to go see on Monday, this very, 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 very rich client, I said, do you have a will? She said, no, I have that on my list of things to do. I said, don't worry. We're going to take care of all of that on Monday. How you have all these assets and house and money and you don't have a will? I mean, yes, you don't have any kids, so maybe you don't care about who gets your money after. But come on, you must have a favorite niece, a nephew, a cousin, a friend, or the church or charity. Don't let your assets just go back to the state. Have your will. Now with Everest, your will can be updated 24/7, 1,000,001 times. You divorce somebody, change your will. You marry somebody, change your will, right? You have a newborn, change your will. Your kids are grown, they're adults. You don't want to leave anything for them. You want to leave stuff for their kids, your grandkids, change your will. It's as simple as logging in and just updating your information. You know, I tell my parents all the time, I'm going to take you off my will. I'm adding you on. I'm taking you out. I'm like yo-yoing with them. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just messing with them, right? But that's because you can log in and update these estate planning documents at any given notice. What about healthcare directives? What is healthcare directive? God forbid you get sick and you're not able to make decisions on your behalf. Who did you give authority to pull the plug? Or who did you give authority to, make decisions for you while you're unconscious? My dad went in for a simple surgery that turned into a catastrophe. He was in a coma for a month, lying in a vegetative state. And everybody, including my aunt, my stepmom, my sister, my brother, we all fighting and want to talk on his behalf. But who has the power? Is it his wife? Is it his kids? Is it his siblings? Everybody think they want to know what's the best thing to do for him. He did not have a healthcare directive, right? I say it all the time. If I'm ever sick and I have to be in a vegetative state, I am lying there and I'm going to spend all my money. I'm lying there, I'm spending all my money. I'll do not pull the plug. Hire the priest, hire whoever you got to hire. Let them pray around me until I get better. Do not pull the plug. But if you don't put these things in writing, no, you got to put it in writing, people. And what about power of attorney? Why is power of attorney important? This has nothing to do with debt. This has nothing to do with debt. Why should we have a power of attorney? Why should somebody have a power of attorney? Has nothing to do with debt, right? Power of attorney is you giving legal power to someone to go ahead on your behalf and conduct transactions. If I want to send my mom to Guyana and buy a plot of land, I make her power of attorney to go take care of that transaction for me, right? Legal power. So Everest, right? Like I said, is one of the only company in the world that has a 48 hours payout. Nobody else is doing this. Nobody else. What you're going to get in the industry is a plain, straight vanilla life insurance, no bells and whistles. And when you pass away, God forbid, your family will be waiting. How many days for that beneficiary payout? How many days? How many days? 30 to 180 days potentially. If you get it sooner, hallelujah. But you ain't gonna get it in 48 hours, right? So 25 million families across the entire North America, Canada and USA. And proprietary strategy exclusive to WFG. So you're not going to find a lot of people even having these strategies because it's exclusive to WFG. Exclusive. You can't just Google this stuff and go buy it. If you Google it and you get the number for Everest, it's going to ask you which company you with, which brokerage firm are you with. If you don't say WFG, they can't sell it to you. They can't sell it to you, right? So let's talk about the plan. When it comes to some of those strategies that I mentioned, now that you know that it's powerful, let's go out and educate families. Let's help families. If you help someone save $350 per month, you recruit one person, you help them save $350 per month, your average monthly income, $2,000. In a whole month, you help one person save $350, $2,000. What if you help two families 2-person with these solution and strategy. From the 1st to the month to the 15th, you get 1 recruit, 350 savings. From the 16th to the 30th, you get 1 recruit, 350 savings. Your potential monthly income is $4,000. And how long does it take to help someone on a Zoom or over the phone with these strategies? Less than 2 hours. Less than 2 hours. So even if you take 5 hours between these 2 families, in 5 hours, you make $4,000. It's ludicrous. Or let's go to the goal. Every 10 days, you open a strategy. So let's say that's 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2, 4, 6. You make $6,000. This is easy money, guys. But you got to go to work. You got to call people. You got to talk to people. You got to educate people. Closed mouth don't get fed. Closed mouth don't get fed, right? It's easy money, but you got to share the information. Don't keep it to yourself, right? Now, if you want to be a system trainer, this is you doing a strategy every 5 days, protecting the family every 5 days, giving someone the same opportunity we were all given every 5 days. Now you cash flowing 12,000. 12,000. Guys, I'm not going to say it's easy, because when I first started, I never even thought I would make 5,000. I never even thought I would make 5,000. And I was happy if I made 5,000. Because most people who work a 9 to 5, 40 hours, they put in a lot of hours to get that 5,000. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Not even a 40 hour. And you making 12,000. It's doable. So pick your number. Do you want to make 2,000 a month? Do you want to make 4,000 a month? Do you want to make 6,000 a month? What do you want to pick? What do you want? How much do you want to cash flow? Pick your number, right? And these are strategies that everybody needs. They just don't know it. That's the irony. They need it, but they just don't know it. So you educate them. Now, 0 income to 150,000 annual cash flow. You got to know the number, know the plan, know the number, keep the number, be obsessed with the numbers and maintain the numbers. So again, I'm going to go back to the numbers. What is it going to be for you? Do you want to make 2,000? Help somebody save $315 a month. Do you want to make 4,000? $700 savings per month. Or do you want to make 6,000? Know the numbers. Pick your numbers, know your numbers, and work the numbers, right? Can you stay consistent on those numbers for the next 3 months? These last quarter is going to be the best quarter, but you got to be consistent. You got to be consistent with your daily priorities. You got to be consistent with your numbers every day. You got to be talking to people every day. You got to be planting seeds every day. You got to be prospecting every day. You know, you may talk to somebody today, they don't do anything. You got to talk to people every day, right? So when it comes to your activities, many of you have seen this before. How many step 1 and step 2? How many step 3, step 4, step 5? All this is just an agenda telling you, what are you doing every day? Are you doing a business recruiting presentation, which is step 1 and step 2? Step 4, are you sitting with a client to show them an IUL? Step 5, are you sitting with a client to show them LB and Everest? How many people are you sitting with on a daily basis? So when you're calling people, a lot of you guys make this mistake. You come into the business and you want to do the talking. You want to do the sharing. And that's a big, big, big no-no. I made a lot of money in the beginning because all I did, I was good at setting up the appointment and putting them in front of my trainer. Be good at setting up the appointment and put them in front of your trainer. That's it. Shut up, pay attention, take notes. Set up the appointment and put them in front of your trainer. I made a lot of money in the beginning, a lot. I never forget, I would call my mom every time. Back then, we used to go into people's homes. Because if people didn't want to come to the office, we would go to their house. And I spent a lot of midnight in people's homes in Brooklyn. And every time I left a house, I would call my mom and I would say, oh my God, I just made 5,000. I just made 2,000. I just made 3,000. Why wasn't I doing this before? It is so easy. And my mom was like, Odetta, are you sure? Is this legit? I'm like, yeah, it is legit, Mom. I got a license. I did a background check. It's legit. The company's legit. Like I was like, why was I not doing this business before? All I did, I was very good. And my trainer said this to me. I would never forget. When I first started, she said, Odetta, bring the people to me. You just bring the people to me. And I'm going to put money in your pocket and you're going to learn this business. I'm going to put money in your pocket and you're going to learn this business. Bring the people to me. Put the people in front of me and you sit and watch and take notes. And I did exactly that and more. In fact, when I was ready to go on my own, I didn't even want to go on my own. They had to cut my wings and say, come on, Odetta, you know enough. Go do stuff on your own now. So when it comes to making the appointment, it's a 3-step process. You're going to call your people and you're going to ask for their availability. Hey girl, ring, ring. Hey girl, what are you doing? How you doing? Make a little 2-minute chit chat. What are you doing tomorrow, 4 o'clock? What are you doing Friday, 6 o'clock? What are you doing Sunday, whatever time? You're going to ask for a specific date and time. Never call someone and say, when are you free? They're never going to be free, people. You don't ever call someone and say, let me know when you have some time. Or, when are you free? They're never going to give you a specific date and time. You got to call and say, hey, what are you doing tomorrow, 4 o'clock? What are you doing Friday, 3 o'clock? Give a specific date and time. Step 2, tell them you want to share something important with them and you prefer to do it over Zoom. Hey, Clico Swab. So Clico Swab, shout out to you, Aaron. Aaron was one of those trainers. When I first started in this business, Aaron and I went to a lot of gynaes home in Brooklyn. Right? In fact, I think I see Dalnique. Who's on this Zoom right now, right? Dalnique is one of my friends. We went to her house. We went to her parents' house. We went to her friend's house. Listen, we went to a lot of homes in Brooklyn, and Aaron was one of my trainers in the beginning, right? And he lived in the Bronx, and he would drive to Brooklyn or take the train to Brooklyn, and we were all over Brooklyn going into people's homes. So today it's easier. It's on a Zoom. It's on a Zoom, people. You don't even have to really get dressed up. You don't have to go in your car. You don't got to buy no Metro card. It's on a Zoom, right? And then you confirm the appointment. So let me run that again. Or actually, 2 of you. Why don't we have 2 people right now? Pretend you're going to call somebody to set up an appointment. Any 2 people who wants to volunteer?
Me.
Okay, who's me?
Marcel.
Okay, so Marcel, and who's the other person? Any volunteer? If not, I'll pick someone.
I'll do it. This is Michelle.
Oh, hi, Michelle. Nice to see you.
Hi, Odetta. I love you.
Thank you.
Already. Ever since I met you. Okay.
So Michelle and Marcel, the 2M. Prospect 1 to set up the appointment.
Michelle, do you love me? Otherwise, I don't do nothing.
I love you. What can I do for
Damn, I
you?
love you too. Let's practice.
Okay.
What are you doing on Friday? On Friday afternoon?
I don't have any plans that I can think.
Okay, great. Uh, I have an event in my office, and this is for self-employed people. And I know that you are a self-employed person as well. So I would like to invite you to come over at 10 o'clock, or I think maybe on a Zoom. You know how to use a Zoom video conference call, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, excellent. So I will send you the link, the invitation, and it will be at 4 o'clock. And please jump on a Zoom, and you will learn what we are going to show you, and you will love me forever. All right?
Well, Odetta, my whole family is skeptical of this whole thing. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate. What do you want me? I don't want to buy anything.
We're
I don't
not
want to
selling
give you any
anything.
money. I'm scared. I've heard of.
First of all,
Huh?
what do you think what I did?
Very good. Very good. So we're gonna stay on topic, but I would say we don't sell
That's fine.
anything. We share information. We don't have to buy anything. We're just sharing information. So
Right.
that was good, right? You make your chit chat, ask for a specific day and time, let them know, hey, I just want to share some information with you. It's going to be on a Zoom. In fact, I'm gonna give you guys some extra stuff. In fact, what you could also say, hey, I just got my license. I'm super excited. I'm in training and I really want to know your opinion. So while I'm going to be sitting in, please ask a lot of questions. Bring it on. Ask a lot of questions because the more questions you ask, it's going to help me with my training. I'd really appreciate that. So I'm going to set up the Zoom. I'm in training. I just got my license. I know nothing. I'm still learning. And I want to share this information with you so you know what I'm going to be doing. And please ask a lot of questions. The more questions you ask is going to be better training for me. We're not selling anything. We're sharing information, right? So in closing, this is why you guys want to attend training.
Odetta, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When we are inviting someone because you are going to you just got a license and then you're going to do the business and you want them to come and ask questions and talk to you about it and so on, are those your friend? Why do they care about what you're going to do? Because like me, for example, what I told her, I say the event is for self-employed people and you are self-employed people, so this is good for you. But if I say I just got my license, so I would like to invite you to come and listen and see. Is that
No,
really?
I mean, you're seasoned, so you can't use. You just got your license. No, you can. You wouldn't.
No. Anybody.
Right. So you can't have it for anybody. If you're seasoned, you can't say you just got your license and ask a lot of questions.
No. I'm saying anybody who just got the license, not me.
Yeah. So if they got their,
I find that is not really convincing because.
But you just got okay. So if you went to pharmacy school or you're a doctor, right? You went to school for your doctorate. Now that you have to be in a hospital or in the OR room, that's going to be field training. They're not going to let you go there by yourself. You're going to be with other senior doctors. They're not going to, if you're an attorney or you just got your real estate license, they're not going to send you out there to sell a house by yourself. You're going to go with a senior real estate person.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that for someone who just got a license and who's inviting someone because they're going to do a training about her business, about my business, and I'm inviting someone to come to listen and ask a lot of questions and so on. That person, how if she say, I don't care about your business, you know?
Well, what kind of friend do you have? Maybe you need to reevaluate that friend. kind of friend is that? Then maybe you definitely don't want that person in your business.
But the point I'm trying to say is that if what I'm saying is that this is good for you, you will benefit more than I benefit.
Exactly. And you said it when I could hear the conviction when you said, I know this is going to be good for you.
Uh-huh.
You know it's going to be good for them. They don't know that. So this is why we say all the time, your conviction, your confidence. I know that this is good for people. How the hell I'm helping people who got way tons of money, who got millions of dollars in assets? Because when I speak to them, I know that I can help them. You may have a lot of money, but I know I could help you. So this is where your confidence and your conviction comes in, because we know most people don't know this information. That is a fact. Financial education is not taught in school.
Correct.
My dean doesn't know this information. And they're professors. They hold tons of PhD. They do not know this information. So when I speak to them with confidence and authority, now they question themselves, wow, maybe I should come to this thing. Maybe I should pay attention. Maybe I should listen to it.
I have had the conversation with some lawyers, and then they say, how come my CPA never told me this? And I told them that the CPA don't have a license to do this. They don't know this thing.
Exactly.
But I do because I'm licensed in this area.
Good answer. Good answer. Exactly. CPAs know nothing about this. Even tax people don't know about this. They know nothing about this, right?
Accountant.
It's a different license. It's a different license. Even though it's all finance, this is a different license. So they wouldn't know about this. So this is why we have the upper hand to speak with tax professional, with doctors. They make a lot of money, but they don't know this information.
Yes.
They don't know it. Their CPA don't know it. Imara did not know it. You guys heard Imara last night. She did not know this prior to coming on board. And she's been doing taxes for 15 years. They don't know this stuff, right? So in closing, I know that this calendar is not the most updated, but guys, we're only meeting on, well, of course, we're meeting on Wednesday, which is where we are today. And then the next time we will meet each other is, if you are in X-Wave, we meet on Friday. If you're not in X-Wave, Saturday, Johnny has a license training. If you're not licensed, you want to get on that license to get help for studying for your license. That's going to be Saturday at 12. Then on Monday, we're all back at 1 p.m. with Johnny. And then, of course, now you guys know we have an Everest event. And maybe, Vern, you want to pull that up again. And if you could share the link so that we can register for that. So if you are a guest, right, it is very, very, very important for you to have these strategies, because you're going to get sick at some point, right? And you do not want to be stressed out on paying the bills and still having to nickel and dime to be funneled to go see a specific doctor because this is what your health insurance is covering, right? And if you are not a guest, for all of you guys that are agents, start with your own self. Get your own house in order. Get your financial house in order. Build it on a solid financial. This is why I can honestly say I will never be broken, not a day in my life. This is why every year I keep getting $1 million IUL with long-term care. I know this stuff. I breed this stuff. I study this stuff. I'm online every night learning more, right? So get these strategies for yourself. You cannot sell shoes and be barefoot. You cannot tell somebody, get these strategies if you don't own these strategies. Term LB is super cheap. Maybe you don't care about the life insurance, but get the living benefit while you can, if you're healthy enough to even get it. Because the lady that I'm going to go see on Monday, she's 57 and she's still taking care of her mom in her 80s. And the only reason why she wants to talk to me, Odetta, I need that living benefit. I need that long-term care. I see what's happening with my mom today, and I do not want that to happen to me. And they have money, right? So Monday, right? I don't know if we have is it going to be on this Zoom, Vern? The 209 number?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So guys, you all know the 209 of them, maybe someone can put it in the chat. You want to invite as many people as possible, because like we always say, they're not going to get this. They're not going to get this ever, because WFG is the only sole exclusive brokerage firm that can provide Everest. So your people can Google it all they want. They're not going to get it unless they come through WFG. And everybody needs an Everest, because if you have a bank account, you need this. One of the things that Johnny said to me when I first started is, Odetta, take out an Everest. And I said, why? I got my burial money. He's like, it's not about having your burial money. Because if you die tomorrow, is your mom going to know who to go to, which financial institution, Citibank, Chase, Wachovia, Capital One. And even if she does go to those banks, they're not going to give her a dime, unless she has a will. Even though I'm her daughter, she's not going to get a dime. We heard stories. There was an Everest webinar before that I was on. The husband passed away, and the wife could not get a dime from his financial institution, all because there was not a will.
It's a dime, by the way.
Say that again?
It's a dime, not a dime.
A dime, that's right. A dime they could not get, right? So don't protect your stuff, people. You're working hard enough for it. We're working hard enough for it. Protect our assets. I don't care if you only have $1 right now. Protect your assets. You're doing this business. You're gonna get rich. You're gonna make money. Protect your stuff. And on top of it, when you have these strategies for yourself, I'm proud to show people my IUL. I'm proud to show people my Everest. I'm telling you to get something that I own. And because you're doing the business pays for it, right? That's extra. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it back to Vern. And thank you guys so much. We will see you guys back here on Monday for this amazing event with our VIP Everest executive. So push to get a lot of guests on.
Actually, Odetta, I'm going to be closing out. So hi, everyone. I'm Robert. I'm Vern's husband. And, you know, the most important thing that we do here in WFG is we give people peace of mind. So many of us, almost all of us, have started into WFG coming as clients, right? Or buying one of their products or solutions. So with these times that are coming up, especially if you look at the news, they're talking about a huge crash coming in the market. We have the tools to protect people's money. And we have the tools to protect people from financial losses due to medical expenses. So we have a very important mission here in our company, but that mission can only be done if you guys talk to people. And that is what's going to make you successful in this business. How well can you talk to people? So a lot of us have a bigger learning curve than others. You know, I certainly had a big learning curve, but I'm finally getting to get the hang of talking to people. So, you know, go out there and don't worry about, you know, how you sound, because a lot of us were terrible at inviting people when we first started. But just know the bigger mission that we have, that we're trying to pursue in this company, okay? And let that override any fear that you have in talking to people. So we'll see you again next week, and everyone have a good night.